Carolina. He's a computer information systems major, and he is presenting on net neutrality. Dylan, come on up.
I want you to join me in a hypothetical situation real quick. Let's say you make your way to that new trendy restaurant downtown and you order yourself a drink. Well, you find that when you get your drink, that's disgusting, I did not order that. Well, you find that no matter what you protest, you get the same wrong drink over and over. Now this hypothetical situation may sound kind of crazy, but it's exactly what internet service providers like Time Warner Cable and Spectrum want to be able to do with the way you stream entertainment like Netflix and Hulu. And that brings me to my topic this evening, which is net neutrality. The idea that all data, no matter what it is, should be treated equally. As a computer information systems student, I find this topic quite appealing, but I also like to stream a little bit of Netflix and YouTube from time to time. I'm sure all of you out here can relate that you enjoy Netflix and Hulu quite a bit. Now, everyone uses the internet for something, like you said. You might use it for that, you might use it for research. Especially this time of the year, if exams coming, you want to be able to get that research done as quickly as possible, I'm sure. Now, in my speech tonight, I'm going to tell you why the 2015 regulations that were passed on net neutrality should not be repealed, because of how they protect the internet being a natural monopoly and the problems that arise from it. Now, ISPs do not have very much competition with each other. This may be contrary to what you think when you go to Starbucks or you make your way to the local public library to do some internet work, but according to the Office of the Chief Economist, only 37% of Americans have access to more than 2 internet service providers that provide 25 megabit per second or faster internet. Now, 25 megabit per second internet. What does that mean to me? Well, that's the internet that you need to enjoy the online entertainment that you want to enjoy. So, when you start thinking of other options, you don't really have any. So, if somebody jacks their rates up, you don't have a whole lot of choices on who else you're going to go get your internet from. So, not only is there no reasons to do better, according to the research group of the Internet West Country, this is called a natural monopoly. It's very similar to what utility companies have goes into your house. For instance, it's not practical to have electrical lines and water lines going into your house from 3, 4, 5 different providers to make competition. It's just the same with our internet service providers. So with this idea of internet service providers having a natural monopoly over their service areas, what other kind of problems stem from that? Well, for one, without this competition, companies can allow other companies to pay for essentially highways into your home. So, according to the Computer Communications Review, an article that was written says that this idea of internet highways into your home that companies can pay for is harmful to competition. Let's say that you want to start the next Netflix, or you want to start the next Hulu. It's going to be very difficult for you if there's no net neutrality regulations in place, because companies like Netflix and Amazon are already going to be paying Comcast and Spectrum the millions of dollars to get into millions of people's homes. Now, we find in a CNN Tech article that a lack of competition also opens up conflicts of interest. So think of NBC. We've all watched something on NBC, I'm sure, maybe The Blacklist, and you want to watch on one night Netflix, say Narcos or something, the latest Netflix original. Well, Comcast owns NBC, and Comcast also provides internet service to people. If they decide that they want to prioritize their episode of The Blacklist into your house, they can prioritize that over what you actually want to be watching on Netflix or Hulu. we find that many people are cutting the cord with their cable companies altogether, but they still rely on them for internet service. A Fortune Tech article writes that 1 in 5 Americans, 1.1 million people in 2015, cut the cord with cable. Of those 1.1 million people, we find that many of them are our age. They are 21 to 34, fresh out of college. Just 38% of that 1.1 million number are our age cutting the cable. So how do we make sure that these problems don't even get worse? How do we make sure that nothing extends from that? Well, it's quite simple, actually. The 2015 regulations that were put in place by the Federal Communications Commission should not be repealed. So why are we here talking about this anyway? Well, recently, the new administration has vowed to dismantle these regulations. They call it government overreach. Well, that is not government overreach. We see that they put regulations in place over natural monopoly holding companies like power and sewer and water every day. So how do we address this? Well, we can visit Free Press's Save the Internet. They were the organization that originally was responsible for helping get the 2015 regulations passed. They started a petition. They told people what they could do to write the Federal Communications Commission and tell them that we want our internet to be free, we want what we pay for. So they're encouraging people today, faced with these new threats to neutrality, to go and sign the petition in greater numbers, go and mail the Federal Communications with even more numbers. So to conclude, these 2015 regulations that were passed by the FCC protecting net neutrality should not be repealed. If you believe that the internet should remain free, and you believe that you want the content that you pay for, I encourage you to visit SaveTheInternet.com and sign their petition. Even though you might not be able to change internet service providers the same way you can go to a different restaurant that isn't giving you the drink that they ordered, you can still make sure that your voice is heard. Thank you all. Have a good day.